morning and welcome to Brewing Happiness. I'm Tina Ann, the Queen of Happiness. We're here with our cup of coffee, our cup of tea, whatever you're brewing this morning, and a little chat about happiness. Okay, let's get started. Stepping out of your comfort zone every now and again can be essential for us to grow and to be happy. Sometimes doing the unexpected, doing something different, doing something you haven't done before, doing something you don't know how other people are going to accept is the way to get out into the world, right? It forces us to have experiences, tests our limits, ignites our senses, helps us deepen our connection to others. When we have experiences, new experiences bring achievement, a sense of confidence. Improved confidence can lead to leading your life bigger and bolder and stepping places you never thought you could go. Take a moment and think back on your most momentous experience ever, the best moments of your life, and the chances are in that moment you were taking a leap of faith, right? Try something scary. Go on a roller coaster. It's good for you. When we break out of our comfort zone, when we venture outside that box, when we get out of that box is when we set our lives on fire and really when we are the most alive. Now, think of your zone, your comfort zone, like a giant bubble. A giant bubble of comfort and happiness, right? You know what's inside. It's safe and warm. It's plenty big. We convince ourselves that we have everything we need, and we get afraid to leave because we're afraid we'll burst the bubble, right? And we'll never be able to go back there. So let's just stay in our little safe, happy place. But if you examine the most frequent or the most common deathbed regrets, people who, at the end of their lives, looking back, saying, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself and not the life others expected me. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. I wished I'd stayed in touch with my friends. I wish I had let myself be happier. Notice that group does not include, I wish I hadn't taken risks. I wish I hadn't had those new experiences, right? When we step outside our bubble, it's scary. It forces us to reevaluate what's inside the bubble, right? Is it really that safe and warm and happy? Maybe we have to reevaluate how we're spending our time. Or we have to be willing to make a change that has long-lasting impacts. But, yes, it's scary. But scoring high not only on the happiness scale, but on the scale of the best memories, the most happiness from a memory. The best memories all come from vacations, traveling someplace new, new experiences, doing things you have never done before, doing something a little bit scary. Maybe you go somewhere that's a very tall building, or again, a roller coaster, paddleboarding, something you've never done that you're a little fearful on. The thing is, you don't know how happy that thing you haven't done could potentially make you if you never get out of the bubble, step across the line, step out of the comfort zone, and try something new. So, right? How do you comfortably move outside the comfort zone? Well, let's talk about it. Just where is your comfort zone? The first step is knowing where your boundaries are, right? Just being inside the zone. Okay, being inside the zone is where when you're when you're inside the zone, that's where you're not really being challenged. Everything you do, you've already done. You know you're good at it. You can do it. That's not the comfort zone, right? That's in the comfort zone. Um, you're in the comfort zone. Inside the comfort zone can stop you from taking risks. If you stay inside to binge watch your favorite Netflix show instead of going skiing with your skiing friends, because you might not be as good as them, right? You've chosen to stay in the zone. But here's what happens. Yeah, we like that zone. It's warm and safe and comfortable, but you get restless. Comfortable becomes uncomfortable. You're not done. There's more experiences to be had. So, as you're tiptoeing over the line, you know that line of the comfort zone, the line that beyond everything up to this line is comfortable, but beyond this line, stepping into, right, the very first place you come to is fear. Fear. We evolved as beings that are sensitive and pay attention to fearful things that may hurt us. It's our survival mode, right? When we cross that line, our survival mode, fight or flight, goes into action, right? You get a gut twinge, or maybe it's like a gut punch. You feel a jolt of terror. We're afraid of finding more negatives than positives in where we're going, right? We are worried about our ability to deal with it all. So, the first step is, as you're stepping across the boundary and you feel that very first bit of fear, out of the comfort zone into the adventure zone, and you feel that first fear, think about, well, just what are you afraid of? Just what is it that you are afraid of? And if you can think that through and bring it into rational thought, you kind of start getting your arms around that. So now we know we're afraid of. That's okay. We're going to keep going, because once you get past the fear, the next zone is the learning zone, right? Now, you're doing something new. You're calmer because you've addressed the fear, but you're frustrated because guess what? You don't start out good at new things. That's right. It's hard to be new. You feel like you don't have it under control. Yeah. So try to focus on the idea that these new difficulties you're just paying your dues, right? You're just learning the ropes. You're just, each time you feel frustrated or you feel like giving up, ask yourself, what can I learn here? What is the lesson? And the more open you are to looking at the lesson, the faster you get to the next zone. Because after the learning zone comes the growth zone, right? This is where you can start to feel good about yourself and your challenges. Starting to get a little competency. Maybe you've done it enough that you know what to expect, so you're no longer quite so frightful. And you're starting to look forward to it, right? Well, this is where you start. This is the fun part, because this is where you start to feel good about yourself. And you have to take the time to acknowledge your bravery. You stepped into the fear zone and you kept going past it, right? Acknowledge the lessons you've learned. You're better. You've grown. You got a new skill, right? You're working to become your best self, and you're putting action behind that work to fulfill your attention. This is the time for you to feel really proud of yourself. But be aware. Here's the thing. The comfort zone, the comfort bubble, is not static. It's constantly moving, because as you know, we're all striving to ascend, to get better, to pursue our best selves, right? If you weren't interested in being your best self or in making the world a better place, you wouldn't be here listening to this. So it makes sense then that your growth zone, or your adventure zone, your growth zone, eventually becomes your comfort zone. And then the cycle starts again, right? Because what used to be scary and fearful and something new that you weren't good at all of a sudden becomes a skill you've learned, something you're familiar with. It becomes a part of the lexicon of your life. And now it's in your comfort zone, and you're looking for what's next. So, let's see. How do we do this? How do I get out of my comfort zone? How do I move through fear to learning to growth? How do I get through those, I think of these as kind of concentric zones outside of my zone. How do I get there? Well, I'm going to tell you. That's what we do here, right? So, first thing, okay, let's have a cup of coffee first. All right. first thing you're going to do is start saying yes. Sometimes we get into the habit of saying no. No, don't want to do that. Nope, I don't do that. Nope, don't want to. But if you're trying to expand, trying to get out of the comfort zone, something you're wanting to do, but you know fear is holding you back, start saying yes. Ask yourself, why are you resisting? What are you afraid of? Again, we're going to ask our really specifically look and say, what is this fear? What are we afraid of? Could you handle it if you fail? Let's use our skiing example. Let's say you go skiing with some friends who are accomplished skiers and you're kind of a newbie. And they kind of laugh at you. And you go on the baby hill while they go on the big hill. Is that okay? Would you still have fun? Could it still be a great time? Could you still learn something and do something new? Absolutely. If you just kind of get over that fear of not being as good as everyone else or not being good at all, right? Dare to be bad. So, if you can handle it, if you can run yourself through whatever you're afraid of is okay, I can live with this, say yes. Step out. Okay, the secret in moving past fear is that you don't have to eliminate the fear. This was a giant revelation to me. This is the secret. You don't have to be not afraid. It's okay to be scared. That's the secret, right? Feel it. Acknowledge it. Your heart's beating a little faster. Your gut's twisting. Your throat's a little closed off. Look it in the eye and think, I know what this is. I know you fear. I've felt you before. It's okay. Come on. We're still gonna go. And you just keep moving. Shake hands with the fear and just take it with you. And then embrace the discomfort zone. You know it's going to be uncomfortable. It's called the discomfort zone. Dr. M. Scott Peck, in his landmark best-selling book, The Road Less Traveled, one of my favorites, the first line of the book is, life is difficult. And then Dr. Peck proceeds to tell you throughout the entire book that life is hard, that it is a challenge, and that we little beings are going to do our best to get through, but to stop expecting it to all be easy. Stop being dismayed and surprised when things don't go your way. Because most of the time they don't, right? Life is difficult. And when it does go well, celebrate the moments, and when it doesn't, we slog forward. So embrace the discomfort zone. Stop acting surprised. Glory in the gift of the moments that work out. And while this may be a little too much, well, maybe the idea applies that we know what's coming and we've decided, the idea applies, everything is not difficult. But if we know what's coming and we have decided to accept the discomfort, right, then get over yourself. It's going to be uncomfortable. But that's okay. Life goes on. We don't have to be comfortable every minute. Uncomfortability can lead to happiness. Okay, here's another thing that helps you. Surround yourself with the people who help you step out of your zone. Now, in our lives, we all know some people are more supportive than others. Right? And sometimes the ones that are not as supportive may be those close to us in our family. Sometimes those close to us say awful and discouraging things, and they think they're being supportive. They really have your best interests at heart, but maybe they are not as encouraging as you would like. Some people might actually encourage you to stay where you are, safe. They're afraid too. They are afraid for you. And let's face it, misery loves company, so we all want everybody to stay in the comfort zone with us, right? It's threatening when you step out of that comfort zone to people that are in it sometimes. But some people in your sphere, and you know who they are. Some people in your sphere are positive and encouraging and complimentary and supportive. These are the kind of people that help you bounce back after a difficulty, the kind of folks maybe you go to when you need a little cheering up. Well, find them. Develop those relations. Find somebody who has already achieved what you are striving for. Learn from them. What inspiration can you pull from what others have done? And then embrace failure. Or as I like to say, dare to be bad. Come to be friends with failure. But then adopt failure's little brother. Yet. I just haven't been able to do this yet. I haven't been successful at this yet. I'm not good at this yet. Focus on the big picture. Where you're going. And that each tiny, maybe invisible incremental step is moving you closer to your goal. So even steps that look like failure, even when you go out and attempt something and you're not very good at it, you got a little bit better, right? You got a little more comfortable. You got a little more, a few neural processors got started, right? You've started a new pattern. So it doesn't feel successful yet, but you can make it successful by acknowledging yourself. I did it. It was scary and I did it. Make the movie of your success. If it's really bothering you, in your mind, make a little 30-second movie of what that success is going to look like. Maybe it's you skiing down the mountain with some skill, right? Maybe it's whatever you're going after. Imagine that happening. Imagine how happy you're going to feel. Feel the emotions of accomplishing it. Substitute any worry or fretting. Every time you think this didn't work out like I wanted it to, play that movie of that successful outcome. Enjoy the emotions of success. Be grateful for what's coming and know that that reward is yours. You're just not living in that moment yet, but it is yours to claim. And then finally, celebrate. Celebrate the happy zone. Don't get so focused. Don't get so focused you don't celebrate the successes. All of them. Even the tiny ones. Not only is it healthy and well-deserved, not only do you deserve it and does it build up confidence and character, but you are actually creating new neural pathways and connections between happiness and leaving your comfort zone. You're training your brain that it's okay for you to step out of what makes you comfortable and do the unexpected, do the adventuresome. Celebrate privately. Maybe you got a little reward for yourself that nobody else needs to know about. Or maybe it's publicly. Brag a little. You earned it. This is not the time to shine your light. So, whatever you do something new. Something adventurous. Try something new for lunch today. You always order the same thing? Try something different. Go someplace you've been wanting to go, but for whatever reason, you just haven't drug yourself there yet. Go have that experience. Talk to a stranger today. Just start up a random conversation. You want to have an easy way to start up a conversation with a stranger? Give them a compliment. Get out of the comfort zone. You'll be amazed what happens when you leave that bubble. Right? All right. So, we are off to the quote board. Quotes for today. And then, maybe, a poem. Oh, wait. No quotes. We have no quotes today because we have a poem. All right. And this poem is called A Leap of Faith. Now, it's about me. But I'm hoping you can take some inspiration for it because I wrote this poem called A Leap of Faith to inspire and encourage myself to get out of my comfort zone, do crazy things, like being here every morning talking to you, sharing a cup of coffee, getting up at 5:30, wearing a purple wig. Ready? Here we go. A leap of faith. This time is now, no matter what. No waiting, no anticipating, no more planning, no preparation needed for this aspiration. I'm stepping up and taking flight despite the doubts these plans ignite. I'm looking up and focused on the dream my heart has long forgone. The foundation, but a lifetime's gist, fresh views acquired, now insist a course of action in newfound grist. Honoring the struggles, the defeats, the troubled times, lovingly accepting them proves a challenging paradigm. Still, the message I have come to know is pure and absolute, that living joy is giving joy, and that is worthy of pursuit. To gather up the sparks of life and distribute to the crowd, to step up to the microphone and declare it all aloud. And so I take this leap of faith. No net nor backup plan in place to show my face, to make you laugh, to speak the truth on your behalf, to put aside my doubts and fears. To mine emotions, trials, and tears, cloaked in humor's volunteers, find lessons in perspective's years. Laughter tickling at your fears, making light but making sense. After all, I am the queen of happiness. I've claimed my throne, I'm reigning strong, I'm inviting all of you along on journeys lit with love and light, pressing on as we keep up the fight, making peace with troubled days, learning happy, joyful ways, revealing these as I transpose uplifting and inspiring tidings in poetry and prose. That's me, friends. Queen of Happiness. Reading the blog so you don't have to, bringing you a little bit of happiness tips, happiness life hacks, ways to infuse your life with joy every single day. Hope you'll join me again tomorrow. We'll see what color I'm wearing then. Until then, make it a happy day.